What you want, yeah. We just chillin' by the Wawas, lemonade with the large fries. Puff twice for the calm high, ayy, what you want, yeah. Big checks make the bank bounce. Old school candy paint down. Bad chicks, they from down south, ayy, what you want, yeah.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, BQ Quick Review. I'm your host, BQ, and today we're gonna be doing a story time video. It's been a while since I've done one of these. If you haven't watched any of my story time videos, that's where you get a good look into my life and some embarrassing experiences and funny experiences that I have been through. Today, we're gonna talk about a time where I had bad run-in with the police. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I had a bad run-in, but more say the police lied really badly. But before I get into this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. You know I gotta say that cliche bullshit that every YouTuber says now. But yeah, help get your boy to 1,000 subs, man. Like, come on, recommend these videos to your friends. You know, share them. You know, help your boy out. Help your boy out, and so I could continue bringing out content for you guys. But yeah, so this happened a couple years ago. This is when I was with one of my exes, and she had lived in Connecticut, so I was taking her home. I was taking her to Grand Central to take the train home. And I was walking with my ex, and there was this huge group of cops. And we had walked past them. One of them was a black female officer. And I said hi to her. You know, she said hi back. So then fast forward, we sit down on a train. You know, I bought her Metro card. I had my unlimited and everything, you know. We sat down, and then the cop came on the train and tapped her and said, "Step off the train." It was a female cop. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on here? And she was like, "Oh, so you're with her?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm with her." And she's like, "Oh, come with us too." Now, one of the things is like, if I know I didn't do something wrong, like there's no point like causing a big problem or running or doing any of that. You know, if you have a problem or any type of problem with the police, like don't be so argumentative and or run away even you know you didn't do anything wrong. But yeah, so I stepped off the train. I was so mad because they made me miss my train. But whatever, I'm trying to see what the hell's going on. And the officer, she was like, "Oh, let me see your ID and everything." And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Why are you stopping me? Why'd you take me off the train? And she said, "Oh, you guys went through the emergency gate or whatever. You guys hopped the turnstile." And I'm like, whoa. We didn't do that. We paid for our fare. We didn't even come in at 42nd Street. You know, I told them my whole trip plan and everything, you know. And she was like, "Listen, just take your IDs out and everything." I'm like, "Listen, I got my receipt for my Metro card, and I had an unlimited. I had to buy her a Metro card for herself." And you know niggas don't keep the receipt for their Metro cards, but luckily I kept it that day. She looked at it and everything, and it's like it didn't even fucking matter to her. And she said, "Okay, hold on." Gave the Metro cards to her partner, some guy, whatever, and he took the Metro cards and he said, "Okay, don't worry, we're gonna check it and see when it was last used and bring it back. It shouldn't be no problem." Okay, me thinking that should be nothing, everything should be good. And he comes back and he's like, "Oh, the Metro cards were never used today." And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I have an unlimited and I just bought this Metro card. I showed her the receipt. Like, that should have been a done deal anyway. And I try to explain that to them, and it's just like, it's going in one ear through the other. And they write us both a ticket. We both get $100 ticket. And I was so freaking mad. And I'm like, yo, you really writing me a fucking ticket right now? Just for, like, you didn't even see me go through the gate? I walked past these cops. Like, I walked past all of them. And then I seen the black lady, the black officer, and I told them, I was like, yo, I walked past y'all. Like, and I told her, I was like, you see me walk past you. I said hi to you. She was zip. She didn't say nothing. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? So I'm like, I take my Metro cards, they give me the tickets. I'm like, I'm going to go see and check for myself when they were last used. And I'm going to come back to you. Whatever. And they're like, oh, this shit got me so tight. The white officer, the white lady, whatever, she was like, oh, well, if you can't pay the ticket, you know, there's programs and stuff, you know. I'm like, I can pay the goddamn ticket. The ticket's not the fucking problem. The problem is, I did not go through that gate. I paid for my fare, and there's no freaking reason for you to be doing this or whatever. Like, so I went to the nearest booth to go check when the Metro cards were last used. And I went to the booth because it's the closest booth that you could possibly go to and return to. So he had to have gone to that booth. So I went to that booth and I asked the guy in front to check the Metro cards. He checks both of them. He's like, oh, they were used at such and such station today at 8:45 or something like that. And I'm like, yo, that's when I used the Metro card when I came in the station, when I came in the other station. So I'm like, then I asked the guy in the booth, I'm like, did an officer ever come to the booth? He's like, no officer ever came to the booth. So at this point, I'm freaking mad. I go back to the group of officers. I walk up to them like, I just went to the booth. I just checked both of the Metro cards, and they said they both worked at such and such time. This other officer gonna come out of nowhere who wasn't even there when the whole thing happened and gonna say, hey, listen, man, just pay your fare or whatever. I'm like, you motherfucker. And then, before I can even finish my words, whatever, now the black officer wants to speak. Now she wants to speak. And she's like, listen, you seem like a smart guy, you know, just go handle it in court and everything. And I'm just like, you saw me go past these guys. Like, you saw me go past all of you. I said hi to you. Why aren't you saying anything to them? And I kid you not. These were her words. There are too many of them. They aren't going to listen to me. That's what this black officer said to me, knowing that I did not do what they claimed I said. So, yeah, that shit really got me tight. And I know all cops aren't bad. I know they aren't. But since that happened, I did not trust. Like, I already had this thing towards cops or whatever, but after that moment, I really did not trust cops. And so I was tight. I walked my ex to the train station, and I was so mad. I went home. I told my mother. Her mother had found out, and everybody was just like, oh, go pay the ticket. Go pay the ticket. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay the ticket. They're like, oh, just pay it because, you know, you're not going to win or whatever. And I understand why they would say that, but it's just like, it's just the principle of it. I'm not paying no fucking ticket that that I didn't deserve. Like, if I jumped over a turnstile or whatever and I got caught, sure, I'll pay the ticket. I'm not going to argue about that. But I don't care what anybody's telling me. When I'm very like sure about something and I have my mind focused on I'm not paying that ticket, I will stand on that hill and die alone on it before I pay that goddamn ticket. Or at least I'm going to try my best not to pay it. So we went to this building. We went to this building for a hearing. And we went in, told our story and everything. The cop was there too. The cop that wrote me the ticket had showed up too. She probably was surprised I was there. She probably thought I was going to pay it and just not show up. But yeah, she was there. And it was me, my ex, and her. We sat down in a room. They recorded it and everything. And the hearing officer or whatever sat down and heard our stories. And I explained it to them. I even told them, like, because the station that I went into, because it wasn't 42nd Street that I went into. It was a different station. The station I have cameras. So I'm telling them, listen, just check the cameras at the station at the specific time that swiped the Metro cards. And they're like, no, we can't do that for this case, and we can't use those cameras for that. I'm like, yeah, use it for everything else. Yeah, use it when y'all want to lock somebody up. But I'm like, whatever. That's besides the point. And I'm still thinking, a little bit of hope in my heart is saying, okay, because they asked the officer, they asked her what happened. And a little part of me was thinking like, maybe she'll like just say this was a misunderstanding and, you know, we go our separate ways and that's that. When I tell you this bitch lied, She said, oh, I seen them go through the gate, me and my partner, and they were trying to avoid us and go on the train and everything. I was speechless. I was just looking like, yo, she really sitting here lying her ass off. And the hearing was over. We lost the case. Both of our cases, because they were separate cases, but they did them together because we both each got a ticket, which is stupid, whatever. But anyways, we both lost our case. I called my mother and everything and everybody, and they was like, oh, just pay the ticket. You know, these things don't really go well for us. They just not, you know, it's all in their hands. They're not gonna hear anything I'm saying. And I was like, fuck that. No. So I went to this, there was a desk and there was an old lady, and I was telling her what happened. And it's like, oh, just put in an appeal and see if it goes through. I wrote a long ass, very detailed, because I'm very good at writing. So I wrote a long, detailed story of what happened, and I detailed everything in the appeal, you know, and I was thinking like maybe it could like it wasn't going to go through because, you know, losing that case so easily when all the evidence was there stacked against them and they just refused to look at it. It was just like, it just didn't make any sense. So put the thing in for the hearing, and we got the results back for the hearing, and they actually let us go in again and try to basically give our testimony. And so the second time, we went there a second time to redo the case. I'm thinking, okay, what if this officer doesn't show up? Because if they don't show up, then basically they kind of just lose the case, or vice versa. If I show up, then I lose the case and I have to pay the fines. But yeah, she showed up again with her ugly ass. But anyways, she showed up with her husband too. This is a funny little side note. Might be a little petty, but we were sitting in the waiting room. There was other people, and her husband was on his cell phone, and we was just sitting there speaking loud enough so that he could get mad. So we was cutting his ass. We was like, yo, this nigga look ugly as shit. Like, Yo, you could tell he was getting mad because his face was red, but he just couldn't say anything. And this is the other petty thing that I did. So I'm like, I called one of the guards or whatever over there, because it's one of those areas where you can't use your phone. You're not supposed to use your phone. So I called one of the officers or whatever, one of the guards over here, and I'm like, sir, I thought we wasn't supposed to use our phone in here. Why does he have one? And he was like, oh yes, sir, you have to put that away. He was so freaking tight. I was just like, oh, that was the most satisfying thing about it. So yeah, before we went to this case though, I had to prepare for this. I had to prepare. I knew that I couldn't just go in hoping that they're gonna like just, use common sense and everything in this, and be good people. No, I had to assume the worst, which I should have went in the first place and assumed the worst. It's unfortunate that you have to do that with certain cops, but there's a lot of cops that give all of them a bad name, which is fucked up, but it is what it is. But yeah, so I had to prepare for this thing. I had to prepare. I wasn't gonna go in cold turkey like last time, and I studied the transit laws, and I was looking at the laws for the transit books and everything, and I studied it mentally. I put it in my head, and I don't remember the rule, but I don't remember the rule because it was years ago now. But maybe I should brush up on it just in case that might happen again. But yeah, it was TA rule something. TA rule, let's just say TA rule 105. So yeah, so TA 105 says that you cannot enter the perimeter without valid fare and stuff like that. So I was like, I had to speak a different way. And then also, there was another trick too. So we went into that hearing, and they asked us a story, and I said the same story, but I made sure that I was more articulate about what I was saying so that they knew that I knew about the law that I was talking about. And I was saying like, oh, TA 105 states this and that, and I did not obstruct anything, and I did not break rule 105. I followed rule 1-A75B, and it's so you get the point. I was making sure to state the actual laws that was saying that they were saying I broke. And that is important because, when you go into certain cases and stuff in a court, unfortunately, if they think you don't know what you're doing or what you're saying. So in these hearings, I'm basically representing myself. I could bring a lawyer, but, I'll have to pay for a lawyer. They don't give you a public defender in those situations. But yeah, so like I was saying, if they think you don't know the law, they will take advantage of you and fuck you over. Like, make that very clear. So it was good that I studied on the laws and the rules of the system and everything. Basically, a nigga had to become a whole freaking lawyer and a freaking detective at that. Because I told that, and here's what put the nail in the coffin, which actually got me and my ex at the time to win the case. So in her report, she said that I went through the emergency gate. Now, you guys may not even notice, but you can't enter the train system through the emergency gate from the outside. Somebody has to open the door for you. And that's what caught her. And the lady said, the hearing lady that we was with, she was like, oh, yeah, is that true? I haven't taken the train system in a long time. And she was like, I mean, yeah, that's true. And I was hoping she would lie because I had pictures of the freaking emergency gate just in case she lied. But luckily I didn't need to use them. But yeah, she's like, yeah, somebody opened the door for them and everything. And I'm like, well, she didn't put it in her report. And the hearing lady looked at the paper, read it for a few seconds, like, yeah, this isn't in the report. Why didn't you put this in the report? And she's like, I didn't think I would need to put it in a report. You know, me and my partner clearly saw them come through the gate and everything. And I'm like, also, using the emergency gate to let somebody in is also is violation T7, TA7, OB5 or whatever. I'm just putting out random numbers at this point. And that person should have also gotten the ticket. And she didn't put that in her report. And the hearing lady looked at the paper and looked at her and was like, okay, yeah, this clearly isn't in the report. You should have put this in the report. And then I put the icing on the cake because my ex had her hearing before me. And I told her exactly what to say. I wrote down the number of the TA rules and everything. And I told her to say this exact thing. And she won her case. And so after I said what I said, I was like, oh yeah, also my girlfriend at the time, we had the same case, and she had won hers because of the same thing. And after that, I think the hearing lady had enough information to be like, okay, this clearly isn't what it seems. And me and my ex, we both won the case. So, yeah, that was a damn happy day for me. Because it was like, after everybody telling me to to just pay the fine, you know, I proved them wrong and everything. And when you, listen, if you really believe you're not wrong, listen, keep fighting. I don't care. And also, the point of this story is just like, if people can, they will try to fuck you over. And especially when it comes to the law, if people think you don't know what you're doing, or if you don't know the law, you're just some dumb nigga that's just coming on the street, whatever, they're gonna try to fuck you over. And I'm just thinking about all the like people she's like taking advantage of, because I'm pretty sure this was not her first time doing this and actually getting away with it. So yeah, fuck her, by the way. And yeah, just make sure you're careful. And if you happen to get in trouble with the law, if you can get in contact with a lawyer, get in contact with a lawyer. If you can't, make sure whatever they're accusing you of, you study up on it. And, you know, because don't go in there just hoping, like I did, that everything is going to be all right. This is clearly a misunderstanding and everything. Because, like I said, they just thought I was another random dumb nigga. That's all it was. And then another detail about the story, I could peep on the intercoms, like the little walkie-talkies that they have when I had received that ticket, the day I received that ticket, and we had stepped off the train. They were saying something like, Asian guy, white t-shirt, black pants, entered the train station illegally. And guess who was wearing a white t-shirt and black pants? But do I fucking look Asian to you? So, yeah, they just took advantage of anything. They just thought they probably thought I was some dumb nigga that just wasn't gonna pay it or whatever. And, yeah, I can't, like I said, not all cops are bad. But I don't trust none of them motherfuckers. I'm sorry. Yeah, like, my trust was already swinging with them, but now it's just like, no. Until they prove I can trust them. But anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you guys like stories like these, I got a few others, you know, but that's a time a police officer lied to me, and all the chips seemed like it was stacked against me, but I still tried. I still stood on that hill triumphant. And yeah, that's one thing I always stick with. If I feel like I'm right about something, if I'm gonna stick with that, you know, and I'm gonna stick with my gut. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna cut this video off right now. What do you guys think about that situation? What would you have done if you were in that situation? Let me know down in the comments. And also maybe you could tell me a story about, you know, maybe a time a cop lied on you, or a time a bad experience with the cops. You know, I remember when stop and frisk was a thing. Man, that shit was annoying. I didn't get as bad as my brother, but yeah, stop and frisk was annoying. And you know, like I said, cops will take advantage if they can. But also, I might go live and talk about this story a little bit more on my Instagram. So follow me at biquon, and we'll chat more about it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. BQ Quick Review. You know how we do.
Pick up the pieces and patches I gotta be, cause the edges are jagged. I do not call my piece lessons with real beef, they be squeezing them ratchets. You not the same person that you on internet, I've been smelling some catfish. Don't condone violence cause we move in silence, you know that they got it like Metal Gear Solid. Pick up the pieces and patches I gotta be, cause the edges are jagged. I do not call my piece lessons with real beef, they be squeezing them ratchets. You not the same person that you on internet, I've been smelling some catfish. Don't condone violence cause we move in silence, you know that they got it like Metal Gear Solid.